everybody doing? It's Paul from Magpie 24/7. Out and about the day before Newcastle United are finally back in action. Thank fuck that we can stop talking about the likes of Euro 2024. That we can stop talking about directors of football. We can stop talking about compensation payments. We can stop talking about replacing the shaven donkey, aka fucking Gareth Southgate. That can be parked to the side for one moment. All because Newcastle United are finally back in action tomorrow when we take on Hull City before jetting off to Japan. Yes, it's the day before. Saying Newcastle United are back in action. I cannot wait. Got tickets for the game. Meeting up Kyle down there, so looking forward to catching up. And also taking in hopefully a good game of football, because yes, we've had the Euros to watch and contend with, but it's not the same as domestic football. Everything, even a friendly, has got to be better than some of the shite that was served up by England this summer that's just gone by. So yeah, big game, looking forward to it. Was hoping, praying, had everything fucking crossed that we might have had a new signing through the door for this game, but it doesn't look, unless some sort of miracle happens this evening, which I doubt, it does not look as if we're going to get that signing through the door. So it'll be pretty much as is. Fabian Schär and Miguel Miran were pictured in training today, so that's a bit of a welcome boost. It's going to push the numbers up a little bit because we were struggling. Had a lot of youngsters out with us over in Germany, and that's been a bit of an issue so far this summer because of the Euros, because of the Copa America. We're missing quite a few still. They're going to be back shortly, there or thereabouts. I think Bruno's going to join up with the lads over in Japan, for example. There's no point of travelling from Brazil to England and then jump on a plane to then fly all the way back around the world to Japan. Makes no sense. So as we're over there, I still expect more players to join in with the rest of the travelling party. And at the end of the day, this tour, Newcastle United are making big bucks of it. I've read somewhere that it's been very, very well backed and financed by a telecommunications company. They're paying the big bucks. So if they're paying the big bucks, they're going to want the big players. And when it comes to Newcastle United, there is no bigger player currently at the club than Bruno. So the likes of Bruno will come along, I think, on this tour. Question mark over Trippier today. We've all seen the pictures. I did put them up on the social media pages for you to have a look at. I don't know, because I didn't take the pictures, whether those pictures were today's pictures, whether somebody is taking the piss or anything. I don't know, but it's possible. And there's been lots of speculation that Trippier is going to be off. He's going to be moving to Saudi Arabia, another player out. There's been a lot of that this summer, hasn't there? Players leaving. But there again, Miggy's been strongly linked with a move to Saudi Arabia, and yet he was pictured by the official club photographer today in his Newcastle United stuff, training down at the training ground, obviously, where else would the bloody train? So yes, speculation, more and more players heading out, and that we will have a little bit of a rebuild. I'm still quite relaxed about the situation. Yes, I would have preferred players in before now. I would have preferred players in before Germany, so they can bed in and get used to the systems and the physical demands, because you've only just got to look at what Lewis Hall said when he joined from Chelsea. So like he's joined from some sort of bid-part club. When he joined from Chelsea, he talked about the step up in terms of fitness and the sort of football that Eddie Howe plays, the intensity that he plays at, and getting into that match sharpness for him take some going. So I would have liked players in before Germany, so they would have had that time to work on the fitness, to work on the system, to work on the understanding, and also just to get to know the teammates. If that wasn't a thing, then I would have preferred them to have been in ready for this Japan tour again, for the same reasons as before. But it just doesn't look as if that's going to be the case. And if it is going to be the case that we sign somebody whilst we're out and over there, then we'll have to get that player flown out separately to join up with the rest of the squad, because literally time is of the essence. It's only a couple of weeks now until we kick off. You know, at St James's Park against Southampton. And I just think that the entire place could do with the pick me up, the little bit of sweetener of signing a player for some decent money. We have made some signings, and the signings that we've made so far in this window, which has only still been open a few weeks, have been decent. We've definitely strengthened the goalkeeping department, and nobody in the right mind would say that getting Lloyd Kelly in and getting rid of Paul Dummett isn't an upgrade, because it clearly is. So we've done some good business so far, but clearly a right-sided centre-back, a first team starting right attacking forward is a must, and a striker, because we all know, and we've all been banging the drum about Callum Wilson. We love Callum Wilson. His quality is great. I expect him to stay. I do. But he's going to be number 2 or number 3 this season, because you just can't rely on his fitness. He's absolutely wonderful. When he plays, you always have the opinion, you always have the feeling that it's just a matter of time before he scores a goal. His record suggests that. It's fantastic, but his record also suggests that he will be injured for half of the season that's coming up as well. So it's crucial that we bring in somebody, probably a youngster, who's willing to be second or third choice, probably second choice, sit on the bench, get his opportunities, rotate around with Isaac, and also cover and take some of the strain when Callum Wilson picks up his inevitable injuries throughout the season, when he misses his half of the games per season, which he does every single campaign. Love him, he's great, he's fantastic, love him on the pitch, but he's missing far too many times, and he's obviously missing again probably for most of this pre-season, and that's another big blow, because if there's one person who needs pre-season, it is Callum Wilson. He needs to get fit, he needs to stay fit, he needs a bit of luck, and he's not the only one. We still are carrying quite a few injuries over from last campaign. Fingers crossed, everything crossed, that Willock is okay, Lloyd Kelly is okay and stuff as well, and they can join in with some of these practice matches, because it's alright Eddie Howe saying that Tino's okay and everybody else is okay. They need to be playing games, and they need to be playing games and then staying fit to give everybody the confidence that they're going to be playing games and staying fit for all season, because again, players are missing far too many games, and hopefully that's part of the remit for the new bloke who's come in, James Bunce. Part of his remit is to look into why we get so many injuries, why we top the injury charts all of the time, to look over the sports science and the medical departments and to get them in the right direction, because it's no good having all the tools if the tools are constantly goosed and you can't use them to aid performance. You know, we need Eddie Howe to have his maximum amount of players available to him. We're not going to go through a season without injuries, of course we're not, but it's about reducing the risk, reducing the amount of injuries, and reducing the length, because the amount of injuries last season where it was, he's got a calf strain, he'll be out a couple of weeks, and then he's out for 2-3 months, and you're like, that isn't just a couple of weeks. So if you're bullshitting, or there is just something that's not quite right, you know, last season, the situation with Jacob Murphy and his dislocated shoulder, the situation with Sven Botman cannot be repeated. That was absolutely and utterly foul, terrible. You can't dress it up. You cannot polish a bastard turd. That was disgusting what happened with those players, and subsequently they missed out probably more time than what they needed to get sorted. It's great seeing Sven, Botman posting the videos and stuff like that, but again, if it had been taken care of last season, he would have been fit and firing and in the team and playing pre-season and getting ready for the season. But now we're just sort of admiring the fact and are cautiously optimistic that he'll be back sooner than the initial prognosis, which was I think December, January time before he would be back. I think there's every chance that he's probably back a little bit earlier than that, based upon the videos that he's been posting. So fingers crossed about that. Cannot wait to have the Rolls Royce back in the team for Newcastle United. What a player Sven Botman is. And there's no doubt about it, although we haven't made the signings so far this season, that if you look at the likes of Sven Botman, who missed a lot of football last season, Willock, who missed a lot of football last season, Tonali, who actually played more minutes for Newcastle United last season than Joe Willock. I didn't realise that until I was looking through the stats recently, and I think that's actually quite shocking, to be honest. So having all these players back, these are like top quality players who will improve us loads. If we can get them back fit, firing and playing towards what they are capable of, then we can go ahead and have a positive season. But I just think to lift the doom and gloom merchants, the wooden spoon stirrers and everything else like that, you know, the newspaper journalists, certain ones, we know which ones that we're on about, probably the same one that's blocked us for calling them out on it. But you know, you've got to say what you see. You've got to be true to your feelings and your thoughts. But at the end of the day, just chuckling to myself, but in all honesty, you know, if we can just get the doom and gloom away, maybe make a signing, quality signings, so they pick the spirits up no end, and then I think, you know, we've had a decent summer, haven't we? We've had a decent summer when you look at all the changes that have been made, and you look at running a professional, you know, team, dedicated, focused, passionate, attention to detail, everything, all the boxes being ticked. You know, work on the club shop, work at St James's Park, work at the training ground, expanding that, new media facilities, new offices for all the scouts and stuff like that. You know, corporate appointments that have been made, which I think are, again, keep hearing this phrase, best in class. Again, it ticks the box as far as I'm concerned on that. And with everything that PIF and, you know, Rubens have done before, they've done it before, they'll do it again. You've got to trust the process and trust the team that's in place. It's a great team, they're passionate, they're dedicated, there's a long-term plan in place, they're communicating now and letting us know what things are happening, but just things aren't happening at quite the pace that I think most fans would like and appreciate. And like I say, there's them little shit stirrers in the background, the likes of your Luke Edwards. I've said it. I was laughing when I had to pause the video about it, but you know, he doesn't like being critiqued, that lad. He does not like being critiqued at all. You've got to have a thick skin, certainly, with any sort of thing when you put your head above the parapet. And yeah, he doesn't like to be called out if he's saying something that's factually incorrect. You just get blocked. So it is what it is. But yeah, there's people just putting a negative spin on it, and I just think with all the changes being made at the club, all the plates that are being spun all at once, I think it's been really, really good. And if we had have got that one transfer in, the two transfers where we've actually paid you know, a decent fee, if we'd brought in that starting right winger, then I think it would have been a totally different mindset, and I think there would have been a lot more relaxed supporters. But I trust what they've done based upon the record and based upon what they've done. I think everything they've done for the club so far up to this point, from taking us to the bottom of the league up to the Champions League and getting us far in cups, making signings, making improvements in every aspect of the football club, they have earned the right for us to be patient and just stick by them. You know, that when there might be some confusion about what's happening, why aren't things happening at speed, you know, I just say just chill, trust the process. If we get to the end of the transfer window and we haven't made the signings, it's at that point that you can then question certain things. But you know, new directors of football, sporting directors or whatever you want to call them, being brought in, it is going to cause a slight more delay, and they're probably not the quickest team in the world when they are doing negotiations, because they are thorough and they are process driven. Add in this extra complication, and I think that explains a lot, to be honest. And the fact that all these players are getting linked with or potentially moving away from Tyneside, again, suggests that if we just hold tight, there will be signings, players will come in. And it was suggested on the interview that Darren Ailes and that done, that there is money to spend, and we will always spend up to the maximum with regards to the headroom for PSR. And hopefully that's the last time for a long time that we have to listen to those three letters. We've sold the players we've had to sell. I personally think it was the right decision at the right time, the right deals to be able to do for Newcastle United, and it's enabled us to not to have to cash in on the crown jewels. It's not allowed us to not have to sell the family silver, as it were. So we've not received any offers for Wimbledon. We've not sold on any offers for the likes of Gordon, Isaac, Bruno and so on. It takes the pressure off and we've got rid of Elliot Anderson, who, listen, I love Elliot Anderson. I think he was a cracking player for us. But where was he going to fit in the team if everybody's fit? And I know the old adage about it's never always 100% fitness, but if everybody's fit, where does he fit into the Newcastle United machine? And you can't see him getting a start out wide left. You can't see him getting a start in the middle. Again, he's another player who's missed games and lots of games because of injuries. He's only young. I can see the reasoning behind it, and I can see the reasoning behind the Minter deal. He's a lad who's only played previously in Denmark and in Holland. If I'm correct on that, I think I am. Hasn't played in the Premier League. Yes, he could be a very, very good player, but in the situation and the circumstances that the club found themselves in, to be able to move Minter on to make a good wedge of money and to sort out the PSR complaints, it was the right deal at the right time for the right player. There will be other young prospects come in and stick with us and make it all the way through from the youth teams, right the way through to the reserves, and right the way through to the first team. I've no doubt about it. And yet there will also be other players that are sold on. You've only got to see and only got to look at the likes of Chelsea and Man City, who do it absolutely magnificently, really. And they sell players on. I mean, for Chelsea, they sell fucking hotels and training grounds and women's team back on themselves. But park that to one side. They've got a conveyor belt of talent where they sign youngsters, they give them the opportunity, they support them, they nurture them, they get them up to a certain age, and then they flog them on for decent money that they can then reinvest into the machinery to create more headroom at the club. That is what they do. That's their tried and tested method, and I think Newcastle United are starting to cotton on to that and to realise that you've got to play the game a little bit to be able to operate and survive and to flourish in this FFP world. I won't say the other three letters because I did say that I was going to try and not mention them again, certainly not to this time, or in 11 months time maybe start mentioning it and stuff again. But yeah, I just think it's the world that we live in until we get to a situation where it's just like you can spend what you fucking want to spend, basically, like you would be able to in any other business or any other walk of life. Until we get to that stage where you've got to play the rules. You couldn't have gone into the season and doing really well at Christmas time and then thinking, well, we're going to get a 10-point deduction at any time and it's going to absolutely fuck the entire season up, So again, professionally sorted out. There was an issue, there was a problem, and the club dealt with it so that we were fully compliant, and that is what they've said all along that they will do. They may not like the rules, but they will stick with the rules and they will work within the framework, and they will try then to effect change from basically inside. That is what they have done. That is again another example of what they've said they'll do, they do. So with regards to transfers and spending money, Darren Eales comes out and says we'll spend the maximum that we can do in the headroom that we've got. We're into a new 3-year cycle. You've got to trust the process, and I'll trust them as well on the Eddie Howe situation. I actually listened to the interview first time round, and I was actually quite positive. And he didn't say anything that I was like, oh well, he's totally and utterly reinvented the wheel there. If I'm happy where I'm working and happy with the people that I'm working with, I love the club. I want to stay. I want to be successful, and I want to bring trophies back to Tyneside. Happy days. But he's had clearly talks with the club. He wanted a bit of clarification about obviously the new structure, the new setup after one of his greatest supporters haven't been bought out, obviously in Amanda Stavely. So he wanted a little bit of reassurance over that. He got the reassurance, and again, sorted. Jobs are good in, and again, I think if he's happy and he's settled, he's earning more money here than what he ever would do being the England manager. I think it's maybe the right job for him, England manager, but at the wrong time. But all I do know is that if he continues to do what he is doing at Newcastle United, and that's progress the club on and stick to the plan and stick to the blueprint, and continue to be absolutely fantastic, because he's been absolutely superb as far as I'm concerned, then England will come knocking again in the future, whether that's in 4 or 8 or 12 years time or whatever, then so be it. What will be and all that. But I cannot see a situation where Eddie Howe leaves Newcastle United to go and take up England. Not somebody who's so focused on coaching and day-to-day management and day-to-day involvement with players. I cannot see him leaving to go to the England thing where you might get to see the players once for a weekend or even a match every couple of months, and then you've got your tournaments every 2 years. I cannot for the life of me see him giving up all of that. He brought his family up, they're settled, he's got young kids and stuff, they're settled in the North East. He's happy, they're happy, his missus is happy by all accounts and stuff as well. So again, all the clues, all the signs point to the fact that everything should be okay with Eddie Howe and Newcastle United going ahead. So it'd be great to see Eddie. No doubt he will get serenaded by the 5,000 Newcastle United fans who are heading to Hull tomorrow. Like I say, myself and Kyle will be there. We'll be part of that travelling away support. So we'll be taking lots of footage before and after the game, and bit of the build up and stuff like that. We've always said that whilst the game's on, the focus is on that and enjoying the game and watching the game and enjoying it. And I cannot wait for the game, to be honest. Especially after all the England shit. After all this England shit all bloody summer, to finally get some action for Newcastle United is superb. Seeing the lads, giving them support, giving them a good send-off for going over to Japan, and then sitting tightly and hoping for some transfers. A bit of speculation and a few quid spent would be absolutely nice. But yeah, 100% certain in my books, a right-sided centre-back, so the long-term partner for Sven Botman, obviously Fabian Schär's maybe successor, to get him in. Could it be the lad from Milan? We'll have to wait and see, won't we? A right winger, and then obviously another striker coming in. That would be, for me, if we could bring in 3 decent ones of them, with the majority of the majority of the budget being spent on that start and right forward. If we can ship a couple out, playing 1 game a week for most of the weeks, the odd 2 games a week job as you get into like Easter and Christmas time and stuff like that. And if you're getting deep into competitions and stuff, that's absolutely fine. But plenty of time to be able to work on stuff on the training pitch. And I'm expecting very much a season like the season before, the one we've just completed. It'll be a cracking season. Cannot wait. Just get the signings done, relieve the stress, relieve the tension down of the supporters, and we'll take it from there. I'll just finish off as well. The stack, nice to see that. We've been getting the updates, through getting the photographs through, putting them on there. The lads at 55 Degrees North have been doing a cracking job with all the aerial shots and stuff like that. So yeah, it's great to see that approaching and nearing the end game. Hopefully it'll be ready for the Salah weekender. If not, definitely for the season opener against Southampton. And again, hopefully the away kit as well, that's out before the first game of the season. That would be nice. I want one of them. Cannot wait for one of them. Been a slight delay, I believe, on the release of the away kit, so not by too much. So hopefully before the new season rolls around, we can get our hands on them as well. And of course, what's been coming out recently as well, all that money going back into the pot to being reinvested for Newcastle United. So not like before, where it was all going into Castor and bloody Sports Direct and everybody else, but where it needed to go. It all stays in house, no matter what you think about the pricing and stuff. And I think some of it is really, really on the expensive side. The design and everything else like it, you just want it. I've been saying to the missus, I like one of them, and I'm after that, and I'm waiting for the away kit. I'd like one of them. And she keeps, well, how much is that going to cost us? How much is that? How much is that? So I cannot wait. And of course, we've got the new club shop as well. So waiting for a little bit of an update on that one to see how that's progressing, because it's been shut now for a little while. I know it's getting a major refit, but hopefully not too much longer until we get the club shop back, actually inside St James's or underneath St James's or underneath the Gallagher end. and out of the porta cabins. That would be nice also as well. So yeah, quite a few subjects covered on today's video. A little bit of a catch up and a little bit of a look towards you know, tomorrow's game. It's not going to be a full strength side. I do expect to see quite a few of the kids still involved in the travelling part in to get plenty of minutes. That's just the way that it goes. How the cookie is crumbled with the Euros, with the Copa America as well. You know, the lads, after finishing them competitions, they need a break. You look at the likes of Gordon, who played obviously well, all of 4 minutes this summer, but did obviously play a lot of games last summer as well for England when he was the player of the tournament in the youth version of the European Championships and stuff. So he does just need a break, a bit of time with family when he's been playing for so long. And it's the same with the likes of Bruno, still playing international games. Them lads, they've only really just finished, you know. So they do need the break. Yes, we want them back at Newcastle United as soon as possible, but we want them to be fit and well, and they do need that break. As frustrating as it is to not see everybody, you know, down at Hull, or everybody even maybe, you know, on the tour to Japan, you want them to be fit all season. You want them to be as fit, because they are literally our top draw first names on the team sheet. So the sooner that they're back, the better. But they do need a break from football, a break from training, and so on and so forward. So yeah, won't be long until they're back. Can't wait. But yeah, it's important that they get the rest time in, and that time with family and stuff like that. So I'd be a hypocrite if I said, look, get them straight back. I know they get paid a lot of money and stuff, but you know yourself, I was pleased to get away for a couple of weeks with the missus, with the kids, you know, after the season had ended. Obviously that was a total coincidence, as I explained to her at the time of booking. It was a total coincidence that the holiday was at the end of the season, but you know, it's just one of them things, isn't it? So yeah, let me know down below who you think is going to start, who's going to be involved tomorrow, who you think the sign-ins are going to be. Do you agree with me with the positions, right centre back, right wing and forward? And are you confident? Do you feel relaxed about the situation with regards to incomings? Let me know down below. And also your score predictions. We're going to be giving away some shirts shortly. I've got some that I've ordered in to be able to give away, just to you know, people who are following Magpie 24/7. So yeah, get your score predictions in down below. We might do a couple of score prediction type videos when we're doing previews and reviews going into the new season, and then just give away some shirts in the comment section. That's probably the best way to do it. But I think we've got about 4 that I've ordered in, just to be able to give away to people as a bit of a thank you for supporting Magpie 24/7. So hit the like button on this video, subscribe to the channel please, and of course we are available on all the other social media platforms, your Facebooks, your Twitter, or your X, or whatever you want to call it, Instagram and Threads and everything. So yeah, check us out, like all the pages, follow, and we will be giving away some shirts and stuff over the next well, yeah, over the next couple of weeks as we start the new season, new intros and everything else to come in on board, ready for the new campaign very shortly. I want to get back now and yeah, start to get ready, get everything set out, have my little ritual, my routine the night before a match day. So we're back into that. Get local hero ready to go, part of the old routine. Got to play that as I'm pulling away from home. It's just superstitions, like never filling up petrol the day before. The petrol has to be done on the same day, the same pump. The certain things about the clothes, where the clothes go, all the superstitions. We've got to be able to tick them all off. I don't want to risk the gods. We're cursed as it is, isn't it? Without me risking anything by doing anything absolutely rash or crazy. So yeah, let me know what you think the score is going to be tomorrow. I know it really doesn't matter, it's all just about fitness and stuff like that, but have a bit of a laugh, see if anybody manages to get it. First goal scorer, it'll probably be Isaac, won't it? Let's face it. But you know, they're going to be a decent test. You know, they just narrowly missed out on the playoffs last season, so it'll be a cracking test down at their place. But looking forward to it lots and lots and lots. So yeah, take care, keep it tuned, and I'll speak to you later.